Hi, I'm ilhaan, and as you may already know, I like to watch movies but then proceed to never stop talking about them. But for the second time on this channel, we are not talking about movies, but rather specific characters. Back in December, I analyzed Evil Stepmothers and rated them on a scale of poison apples. And today, I wanted to do a similar thing with one of my favorite character types, which are sidekicks. I picked out some characters I wanted to discuss and then realized that I didn't have any criteria to rank them with, so logically I did what any person would do and I googled it. Funnily enough, I found the most well-rounded definition of the term sidekick from the extremely reputable Urban Dictionary, which states that a sidekick is a friend or associate of a more popular or charismatic person. The sidekick gains most of his or her acclaim from merely being connected so closely to the more powerful acquaintance. Sidekicks can be found anywhere from comic books, where the term began, to the workplace and schoolyard. As stated, I already picked 5 sidekicks prior to having a concrete definition, so I'll be analyzing these characters and ranking them on a scale of 1 to 10. 5 of those points will be how much I personally like the characters, and the other 5 will be depending on how well they fit the criteria. Feel free to rate along with me as we go, and at the end, I'll compile a final scoreboard.
Alright, that's it! Dishonor! Dishonor on your whole family! Make a note of this! Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
I figured for the first sidekick, I'd look at Disney, where there is no lack of such characters. I picked one of my favorite movies, Mulan, which has one of my favorite supporting characters, Mushu. In Mulan, Mushu serves primarily as comedic relief. He's supposed to be Mulan's guardian, and he's trying to prove to the ancestors that he is in fact a real dragon after failing to protect one of her ancestors in battle. In general, his motive can be split into 2 parts, wanting to become a real dragon and guardian by seeking validation from the ancestors, and then wanting to keep Mulan safe after forming a genuine friendship with her. In the traditional sense, he is definitely a sidekick. He encourages and coaches Mulan throughout the film, and partakes in all of the antics that ensue. He's definitely more developed than some previous Disney animal sidekicks. He has a personality, needs, and motives that surpass Mulan's main plotline, and he experiences character growth. So for the first 5 points, I'll give him a 4.5 out of 5 because I like his character, but not as much as some of the other characters I'll be discussing. As for fitting the definition, I think it kind of fits. He's definitely a friend of Mulan, but is she more popular or charismatic? Yes, Mulan is very powerful, and yes, Mushu is looking to gain something from protecting her, but this definition implies that the sidekick is less than, or wouldn't be compelling or interesting without the main character. Therefore, I give Mushu a 2 out of 5, resulting in an overall score of 6.5 out of 10.
That's Karen Smith. She is one of the dumbest girls you will ever meet. Damien sat next to her in English last year.
She asked me how to spell orange.
When I think of sidekicks, I think of the plastics. It's pretty much automatic. To be completely honest, it's probably been like 3 years since I've last seen Mean Girls, but when I was thinking of characters to include in this video, Karen Smith was one I knew I had to. Played by Amanda Seyfried, Karen is supposed to be a ditzy minion to the evil mean girl Regina George. Although she is technically a member of the Mean Girl posse, she is definitely the kindest member of the trio, and is generally less two-faced and vicious than her 2 counterparts. Similar to Mushu, Karen provides comedic relief and many iconic lines, but she is considerably less dimensional than the other sidekicks I'll be discussing today. Although she is a mean girl, she is pretty likable, so I'll give her a 2.5 out of 5 for my ranking, but a 5 out of 5 for fitting the definition. She basically matches the definition. As a matter of fact, I could edit the definition a little bit, and it would appear that I'd be describing Karen perfectly. That means Karen Smith has a total score of 7.5 out of 10.
When you said we were going to open Wakanda to the rest of the world, this is not what I imagined.
And what did you imagine?
The Olympics, maybe even a Starbucks.
Throughout Black Panther, Okoye serves not only as a warrior and protector of her country, but also as a loyal friend to the royal family. I might be biased here because I believe in Okoye's supremacy, but she is one of my favorite characters in the film, and her energy plays off the other citizens of Wakanda very well. I think she's a fairly well-rounded character, and the audience gets to see her struggle with her values concerning her job when her loyalty to Wakanda is challenged several times. For my personal rating, she is a 5 out of 5. She's a good friend, a great general, a skilled warrior, and a great representation and personification of the strength of African women. As for fitting the definition, I'd say she fits it for the most part. She is a friend or associate of the main character, and she is definitely from a comic book. As General of the Dora Milaje and the head of Wakandan Armed Forces, I would say she doesn't necessarily need her connection to T'Challa and Shuri to have acclaim or clout, especially within Wakanda. However, in the context of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, I guess she is known due to her connection to the Black Panther, so she kinda ticks that box. Therefore, she gets a 4 out of 5 in that section, meaning her overall score is 9 out of 10.
Your teacher will be someone who has mastered Neutrogene. You need to find someone who waits and listens before striking.
Toph Beifong is an earthbender from the Avatar universe. She first appears in the second season when Aang, who is the Avatar, by the way, is searching for a powerful earthbender to teach him the craft. Toph is a tough, tomboyish young girl with an incredible connection to the earth, which facilitates her masterful bending, and to make it all the more impressive, she's blind. After a rough first meeting, Toph eventually joins Aang and his gang of friends and pets on their journey to defeat the Fire Overlord Ozai, and throughout their travels, she forms a great bond with them, all the while teaching Aang the art of earthbending. In all honesty, Toph is pretty much my favorite character in The Last Airbender, second only to Appa, so I have to give a 5 out of 5 for my personal rating. Unfortunately, I realized after reading the definition that she doesn't really fit it that well. Yes, she is a friend with the more popular Avatar, who is technically more powerful than her, but she fits more into a mentor role in some episodes. The duality of her relationship with Aang from mentor to sidekick is really interesting, and is what strengthens their friendship. But overall, I'd have to give her a 2 out of 5, resulting in an overall score of 7 out of 10.
This bag. You have one of these bags? You know, we could hawk that and feed a whole third world country.
So I recently rewatched the 2001 masterpiece, The Princess Diaries, and one thing that stuck out was how horrible of a friend Lilly is. I'm 99% sure you've watched it, but just in case you haven't seen The Princess Diaries, it follows an average 16-year-old named Mia Thermopolis as she deals with the difficult transition from normal high school student in San Francisco to the crown princess of the fictitious country Genovia. Lilly is Mia's long-term friend, who is generally unsupportive and rude at times to Mia during this transition. I have to mention that most of Lilly's remarks happen before Mia spills the beans that she's royalty, but either way, Lilly is generally just judgmental of Mia and others. She's basically not like other girls personified. She does have some decent qualities, like her confidence and her ambition, but for my own personal rating, she receives a 2 out of 5. As for fitting the definition, that rating is a little more difficult. In the beginning of the movie, Lilly feels more popular than Mia, mainly just because she's less socially awkward. However, after the princess transition, I can see Lilly more as a sidekick. She's connected to a powerful figure, and their dynamic is affected by their popularity in school. Therefore, I'd give her a rating of 3.5 out of 5, resulting in an overall rating of 5.5 out of 10. Here's my final scoreboard. I'm incredibly curious to see how you guys rated these characters, so feel free to drop your lists in the comments, and don't forget to click the bell to be notified the next time I upload. Bye!